Guys, welcome back to the channel where I cover missing persons, unsolved cases, crime news, and more. 2 years ago today, 15-year-old Sebastian Rogers disappeared. He just is gone. Now, people don't just disappear, especially kids. Sebastian is 17 years old now, and it just seems like there are no answers as to what happened to Sebastian that early morning, that evening, after he went out for the day with his mom and allegedly went home and went to bed. So, where is Sebastian Rogers? This is a question that I do think about all the time. He's one of the missing children out there that I think about every evening in my prayers, and I know many of you do as well. And for those curious why I have backed down from covering Sebastian, well, his case became dramatic. It wasn't about Sebastian anymore. It was about everything but Sebastian. And I don't feel necessarily good when I don't cover a missing person, especially a missing child. But as advocates, we can only do so much, and it's just really hard when there just seems like you're hitting dead end after dead end, and the actual missing person is getting lost in dramatics that shouldn't be happening. And most of you know where I'm coming from. And yes, this has to do with the parents as well as other members of the families on both sides, because his mom, Katie, and his father, Seth Rogers, they are divorced, and Katie is with Chris Proudfoot. And so there are two different families involved here. And I don't think that Sebastian lived in a very comfortable world. That's my personal opinion. I think that there was a lot of issues for him, and the whole thing where they like to throw out that he's autistic and he doesn't know much. Well, I think that Sebastian is a very, very smart kid. I think he knows a lot, and I think that it's very, very probable that he met someone online. This is definitely a theory that I have thought about, and it's one of my top theories, that he met somebody online and they maybe have picked him up that night or those early morning hours. Again, we don't really know what happened to him. Now, there is a new interview with Katie, so I'm going to play that, and then I'm going to go back and we're just going to cover the timeline a bit more. I just feel like we do need to kind of go back to the beginning, and again, we need to go back and look at the actual facts, and it's about Sebastian, and I'm not going to get into any of the dramatics that have taken over with this case. And I am on Team Sebastian. I don't care who, which parent, step parent, girlfriend, boyfriend, grandparent. I don't care about any of them personally, okay? I don't care about any of that stuff. This is about a 15-year-old who's now 17-year-old that is missing. He is an active Amber Alert and nobody knows. Nobody knows where he is.
Truthfully, every day hurts the same. I mean, it doesn't get any better. The best way I can describe it is a gaping hole in my heart and in my home and in my family. Every day is praying, is hoping, is searching, is asking anyone that we meet, to share his flyer, to know about him, and hopefully find him.
This is WSMU4 out of Nashville. This is their interview with Katie Proudfoot. This is a new interview, like I stated. I don't. How can I phrase this? I don't want to say anything about any of these parents bad, okay? Because we don't know them. But the way that they have reacted to Sebastian's disappearance, it does speak a lot. You know, the saying actions speak louder than words. Well, I believe in that, and I still don't understand to this day, 2 years later, why Katie left with Chris from their home when Sebastian disappeared from either the home or that area. Why she would go though hundreds of miles away. Yes, I realize she's trying to get away from the media, but they're going to follow her. If you have a missing child, a missing loved one, why would you not stay home? Because what if he came back and no one's there? So that is something I don't understand. And do I think that Katie wants to find Sebastian, her son? I do. I think that she does. I think Seth does. But the way that they have all gone about this, I think it's very strange to me. Granted, I don't have a missing child or a missing loved one, but looking in from the outside, it is very strange. And you guys let me know your thoughts on these sorts of things, and what are your impressions on the way that Katie has acted, the way that Chris Proudfoot has acted, and Seth Rogers. I do think that Seth Rogers is passionate about finding his son. Katie, I hope that she is. I hope she is as well.
Find Sebastian. 15 when he went missing, 17 now. But he has just this beautiful smile. I mean, he's just got a big grin, and he's got a goofy sense of humor, and he loves being helpful, and he enjoys playing video games and building things. He loves animals. Cats particularly are his favorite animal in the world. Green is his favorite color, and he loved getting out and doing things with us, going bowling and going out. We
Notice the past tense got used there. I think she was trying to avoid it, but it came out. He loved going out with us. Well, I think Katie, he loves going out with his family when they're there for him, when they're supportive. Uh, Seeing all the drama, everything that has come out since he went missing, and all this dirty laundry that got aired on social media throughout YouTube. And they aired out a lot about Sebastian. And he's out there, and do I think that he's seen this stuff? Yeah. Do you think if you saw your family airing your dirty laundry or private things things that you wouldn't want others to know on a national scale, because this is a national case. This is an Amber Alert child. Missing, endangered 15-year-old, now 17-year-old Sebastian Rogers. Do you think you'd want to come back home to all this? So, looking back at it, if he's still out there, which I hope he is, do I think that he would want to come back into either environment, his mother or his father's environment? I don't think he would. I mean, I think that he would want to be elsewhere. I mean, that's how I feel about it. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, he could be totally okay with it, but I would not want to, if I was Sebastian, come back. I wouldn't want to come back into this environment that I've been seeing online, and how it's just so ugly, and there's a lot to work out. Let's put it that way.
To go hiking a lot, and we'd hike to, like when we lived in California, there were waterfalls and whatnot that we used to go hiking to, and he would get so excited at the end. Just we'd make little videos showing how far we'd come and whatnot, but he's a good kid overall.
What do you miss most about not having him around?
Oh God, everything. I miss his smile. I miss telling him to get up in the morning for school and him going, "Mom." I miss him making his little jokes. I miss watching him run around with the dogs. I miss all of it, the good, the bad. I miss everything about my son.
Describe what it's like to live with so much uncertainty, trying to figure out where he is, if he's okay.
Awful. It's horrible, honestly. I don't have a way of knowing if he is okay, of knowing if Sebastian is safe, of if he's being cared for, and where he is, and it's something that I don't think that I will ever be okay or be used to until we get answers. Truthfully, it's hard to keep hopeful when it's been so long without answers. But like I said, I won't let that hope go.
I want to believe Katie so much, guys. I really do. I want to believe she had nothing to do with Sebastian being gone. Although if he decided to go off and meet somebody because he was feeling so unloved or having a lot of issues in his household, I guess it's kind of her fault and Chris's fault. But I want to believe that they really didn't have anything to do with him being missing. I want to believe that. And I want to believe what she is saying here in this new interview. But I have seen other parents search and get out there so much more. And again, the actions that she showed, especially at the beginning, I just have questions as to how much she's not saying, how much she is keeping to herself, and that what she truly knows about the last night, the last time that we all know Sebastian was seen eating dinner with his mom.
I refuse to let that hope go, and I refuse to stop believing that he is out there and that he is going to come home. And I just pray to God that he is looking over him and that he's keeping him safe until we can find him. I know that there are many people out there that are still helping to share his flyer and whatnot. We continue to ask people to do that. We continue to ask people to just stay aware, keep aware of your surroundings, that type of thing. But as far as different, it's the same. It's the same pain. It's the same absence.
Will you keep searching?
Until my last breath. I'll never stop. I'll never stop searching for him.
I hope that she truly is searching for him. I hope that she's doing everything that she can, helping the TBI. I hope that. Because again, if it was my loved one, I wouldn't stop. So you can talk the talk, but is she walking the walk? I can only hope and pray that she really, truly is doing that. So I wanted to go back through the timeline, and I admit I copied this from a couple different sources. I did put it on, my own little, I guess, note cards is how I sort of do it, and a timeline. But again, the timeline does seem pretty consistent throughout when I did to search through online just to make sure that I had all the current updated information. It does seem to kind of go through to a certain point, and then sort of stops because it's kind of gotten stagnant. And that does seem to happen in so many of these cases. And it's sad. It truly is. So again, this is the timeline for Sebastian Rogers. I believe I went through this initially, early on anyway. I will link to my playlist as well if you are curious to check out any of my other videos from earlier in the case. So February 26th is the day that the search was underway for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers out of Sumner County. He was reported missing from the beach area of Hendersonville, Tennessee. And I know every time I see Hendersonville, I think North Carolina, but this is Tennessee. And well, they both have a Hendersonville. Go figure. And allegedly, he was last seen in the area of Beach and Shackle Island near Long Hollow Pike. Now, I have seen that they are stating that he is missing from the area. So it's not necessarily from the Proudfoot home. So I kind of like that a lot better. Whereas obviously Katie said that she woke up in the morning and he was gone. So, because I mean, I still wonder, did he ever come home that night when they went out for their little day of fun? So I have questions as to that. And Sebastian, at the time of his disappearance, was 5'5" tall, 120 pounds, has dirty blonde hair. He was last seen wearing a black sweatshirt and black sweatpants, per the investigators, which I think 2 years later, a lot of that stuff it's important, but what he was wearing is kind of mute, at this point. February 27th, 2024, the Amber Alert was issued for Sebastian. They did mention, obviously, that he has autism. The TBI issued the Amber Alert. They initially issued an endangered child alert first, and stating he had a form of autism, but they upgraded it to the Amber Alert after additional investigative information was obtained. And this is still active to this day. And I have to say that Sebastian and Summer are the two biggest Amber Alerts in Tennessee, and I think they're probably two of the most known that are out there. Obviously, Summer's is, quite longer than Sebastian's, but it's sad when these go any longer than a few days. I mean, most children, if they just run away or they disappear, you know, they're recovered fairly quickly. So, each day that goes by, it's the sad, sad thing. And we're still on February 27th. The authorities, law enforcement, and all they were playing music, to help find Sebastian. I believe they were playing "Eye of the Tiger," which is a favorite of his. While they were searching, they played that music in hopes that that would help bring him out if he was hiding somewhere. And then of course they mentioned that Sebastian likes cats, which Katie mentioned again in this interview. Eric Craddock, the chief deputy with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office, was the one that put out a lot of this information initially. And of course, he mentions again that his favorite song was "Eye of the Tiger," and they played that, hoping to calm him and let him know that they were there to help him. Unfortunately, that didn't work. I mean, we could have only hoped that that would work. I mean, you had neighbors stating that, one time they found him underneath their car. So it was very, very possible that he was very close to his home, but he wasn't. February 28th, 2024, the Sumner County community, they gathered donations for the search crews that were looking for him, for Sebastian. The donations were poured into the Premier Center event space on that 28th of 2024 February to help with the search, because as we all know, searching, it's not free. I mean, yeah, your labor is free. I mean, you can go out there, pass out flyers, help search, but resources are not free, and you got to have at least water and stuff for the searchers and supplies. So donations are very, very important to keep especially the professionals, and keep everybody going. Still on February 28th of 2024, foul play was not suspected at that point, as the Amber Alert was remaining active for Sebastian. The investigators said nothing was leading them to suspect foul play took place, and added that the family had been cooperating. Obviously, this was on February 28th of 2024. Still on February 28th, the urgency continued to rise in the search for Sebastian. And of course, it's been repeated over and over again. He's autistic. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation and other law enforcement agencies, they urged people in the area to check their surveillance videos for signs of him. And the Amber Alert was issued due to the team being off of his medication, which they stated could compromise his health. Now, I'm not trying to downplay his autism, because it is very important. I mean, he's on medication, so that's very important as well. But, I think, again, that he is autistic, but he's very smart. I think he's very, very smart. But yeah, if you're off of your medication when you're on some of these life-sustaining meds, I mean, it's very important. And if you miss them, it can be a problem. February 29th, 2024, missing teen with autism, they stated had not been seen on camera since his disappearance. Investigators announced that there had been no confirmed sighting of Sebastian on camera since his disappearance. Continuing on February 29th, the community were urged to partner up to search for him on their properties. The sheriff's office stated that while no significant updates were available at that time, they encouraged anyone willing in the community to help search, but to partner up for safety. And I always thought that was a really good thing, that they were trying to, get everybody to make sure that they're not by themselves, they're with partners, and to be safe, but, they could go out and help search. Because we don't always get that in these cases. Sometimes they don't want the community to be out there, boots on the ground and searching. So they definitely wanted the community to help. March 1st, 2024, a dive team assisted in searching for Sebastian. Franklin Police, that's where the dive team came from. They came over to Sumner County to help search for him. in the water. And of course, that was requested by the actual Sumner County Sheriff's Office. March 2nd, 2024. This is when more than 300 people searched for Sebastion. They joined in the search, marking over a week since he disappeared. So this was like over a week later. Chief Deputy Eric Craddock with the sheriff's office said a private reward was being offered for finding him. That was in the works at that point, anyway. So I don't think. I think rewards. I think they're good, but I don't always think that they necessarily matter in a lot of these cases. I mean, I don't know what you guys' thoughts on the rewards, but we see them all the time where and they've increased the rewards, and I think it's important that they do it, but I don't really know how much that ever really does for a case. I mean, I guess I would have to look into to see what that matters, but I don't feel like it does a lot. But again, I could be wrong. March 4th, 2024. I just want my baby to be okay. This was Katie and Chris Proudfoot. They sat down with WSMV4 and they did the interview discussing Sebastion. And of course, Katie went on to say she wouldn't wish this on anyone. And they both stated they felt like they were on a constant roller coaster. They felt helpless and hopeless. Chris had a lot to say as well. And Chris was allegedly, like an hour and a half away, working on a construction, site. So, again, he was allegedly not home. And yes, I do use the word allegedly because I don't think we know for sure. Many other emotions all in one, and it's a never-ending world because it doesn't stop. Well, I think that would be definitely, I would feel the same way if a loved one was missing, especially a child. March 4th, 2024, the Tennessee National Guard, they joined the search for 15-year-old Sebastion. And that point, a spokesperson for them said the Tennessee Emergency Management Agency authorized 25 service members from Cleveland's 252 military police company, and they volunteered to assist in the search and rescue efforts to find Sebastion. Continuing on March 4th, officials announced that they were scaling back their ground resources in the search for Sebastion because they had not found the missing teen or any evidence to show that he was not alive. So they were still out there searching for Sebastion. They had to scale things back, which, as sad as it is, it's so common. At a certain point, they do that in all these cases. And of course, they also wanted to make sure that they told the public that they weren't saying that he wasn't alive and they weren't giving up, but they were just scaling back their resources. March 7th, Sumner County deputies and the Kentucky State Police. This is when they searched that landfill in Hopkins County, Kentucky, where trash was taken from Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood. The Sumner County Sheriff's Office, they told the news WSMV4 at that time that investigators searched the landfill with the help from the KSP officers. They were looking for evidence relating to Sebastion's disappearance. And I always think when I hear about a landfill search, and I remember hearing about this, and the first thing I thought of, and I always think about this, is Quentin Simon case. I mean, if you have to search for someone in a landfill, it's awful. But it's part of what these first responders do. They search anywhere and anywhere they have to find these missing kids. And we jump to March 8th, 2024. The search for evidence relating to Sebastion's disappearance at the Kentucky landfill yielded negative results, which was a good thing. I mean, obviously we want answers, but I was really happy to hear that they didn't find anything there. And the search continued, obviously, for Sebastian. And they said the landfill search was over after an exhaustive search to find him at that landfill in Kentucky. March 13th, there was no update from the TBI, but urging the public for information. So as these cases continue, the updates do kind of dwindle. Like the press conferences and what have you. It's just there's just not anything to report. March 14th, 2024, the home security footage. This is the home security footage that was obtained by WTVF News. This is the one that showed the allegedly the flashlights or the garbage truck. That huge debate about what that was outside of the Proudfoot home in the neighborhood in Hendersonville around 3:10 a.m. when Sebastian went missing. The sheriff's office chief deputy Eric Craddock told the news outlet that there are several clips that have come in that investigators were reviewing at that time for more clues. So yeah, you guys probably remember if you've been following it. It was all about, they said, oh, it's a garbage truck, but what garbage truck goes out at 3:10 in the morning? I don't know about you guys, but our garbage trucks don't go out at 3:10 in the morning. It's like 8, 9 o'clock. I mean, maybe 7, but 3:10 in the morning, that ain't happening. And then, of course, others said that it was, 2 individuals with flashlights. So there was a lot of speculation about that particular home security footage. And March 23rd, 2024, this is when the United Cajun Navy, and I get confused because there's a couple different groups of these folks, so I know you guys, I don't know if you guys get confused, but I do. I remember a lot of these searches were happening around this time for a few folks, and it always gets me a little confused because there's another one with a similar name. They announced at the briefing in Nashville that they were joining the search effort for Sebastian. They are a volunteer-run organization, and they assist with national disaster recovery typically, and of course missing person searches. They were sending a team with a canine unit to hopefully try to find Sebastian. March 25th, there were 2 separate interviews on that Monday. Sebastian's parents answered questions about the search for him. His mother saying that she had cried on and off for a month. Katie and her husband Chris Proudfoot, they appeared on Crime Stories with Nancy Grace. And Nancy really grilled them. And I'm going to play a little pieces of that. And if you haven't watched the whole thing, I'm going to link to it as well. I think it was more of an interrogation. But I also like Nancy Grace. But she really grilled them. And her questions were pretty much, just like rapid fire, for sure. And of course, at the same time, on March 25th, that same day, Seth Rogers, Sebastian's dad, he appeared on News Nation. He stated that he had not given up hope of finding his son, and he spoke about how the communication was a problem between him and Chris and Katie. Yeah, it was definitely a problem. March 29th, the United Cajun Navy pulls out of the search efforts. They were stating that they were threats made to them, and so they decided to stop and leave. And that's a sad thing. When a volunteer organization just says, we can't be here, we're being threatened. Yeah. April 2nd, 2024, investigators gave it an update. They confirmed that a pair of glasses had been found during a search during this investigation, but they couldn't definitively say that they belonged to Sebastian. Authorities also reiterated at that time that there is currently no evidence of criminal activity. So this is when they found those glasses, which I believe later on they said that Seth said they were not Sebastian's, but again, little things that come up, whether they are related or not, they have to investigate every single possible thing, including all these tips. April 17th, 2024, This is when Seth Rogers hired the private investigator. Won't say much else about that, but that's when he hired his PI. Seth also wanted, when he spoke out, Seth stated that he did not want Sebastian's case to become a cold case. And looking at it now, 2 years later, I don't think his case is a cold case. Do I think it's a bit quiet? Do I think that there is not a lot of activity? Yes, but I don't think it's a cold case. I think that the TBI probably works on this regularly. They work on Summer Wells' case all the time, but I don't think it's a cold case. But I do think there are people out there and beyond the family that potentially have more information, and we can only hope that they call and they call in, they call on the tip line, and they give the information that they have, because they need to call. If you have a legitimate tip, I'm putting the flyer right on the screen right now, you need to call, because it's those tips. 1-800-TBI-FIND or 615-451-3838. If you know anything, you need to call in to the TBI and tell them. You can be anonymous, but we all need to, continue to share his face, his flyers, and we are going to make sure that we keep Sebastian's name, his face, his posters out there. This is Crime Stories with Nancy Grace, and I'm just going to play a little bit of this, some of her interview / interrogation, as I call it, with Chris and Katie Proudfoot. If you haven't seen it, which I think most of you have, because obviously it's quite early on in the case that she did this interview, I highly recommend it. So I'm going to link to it in the information of the video, and it's also something good to go back and re-listen to, if you're also following this case.
We are trying to determine what happened when this young boy, an autistic young boy, seemingly walks out of his own home in the middle of the night, we think, barefoot. How did that happen? I'm going to go to two special guests joining us, Katie and Chris Proudfoot. This is Sebastian's biological mother and his stepfather, who were in their home with Sebastian when he goes missing. To both of the Proudfoots, thank you for being with us. I want to go straight back to when Sebastian goes missing. Miss Proudfoot, I understand that the day before, which would have been Sunday, if I've got the information correct, that you guys went out, you went to dinner, you went to somewhere, I believe you said BJ's, where he had a, quote, colossal popcorn. Then you came home that night, and around 9 p.m., you tell Sebastian to go to bed. He says, okay, and goes to his room. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
That night, I understand from previous statements you've made that you went to bed around midnight. Is that correct?
It is.
And to you, Mr. Proudfoot, Chris Proudfoot, did you also go to bed at midnight, or before or after?
No, ma'am. We went to bed around the same time because we were on the phone together.
And
He was not home.
please excuse any of my questions. I'm simply trying to find out more about that night. Do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
He wasn't actually in the home at all that weekend. Christopher
You were
wasn't.
not home.
No,
Okay,
ma'am.
so where were you, Mr. Proudfoot?
I was in Memphis, Tennessee.
How far away is that?
3 hours and 37 minutes from doorstep to doorstep.
So I correct myself. I said an hour and a half earlier. I don't know why I said that. It's 3 hours. So it's over 3 hours. And again, I love the way Nancy she's basically grilling them. That's why I call it an interrogation. And it is, to get on Nancy's show, it's really, really good for a missing case, but also she don't put up with no crap. So she's going to ask the hard questions.
And what were you doing in Memphis?
Working.
Where do you work?
I'm currently working, or was working, at the St. Jude Children's Hospital construction project.
Yes, I'm very familiar with St. Jude's. You said you were working there. Are you no longer working there?
Right now, that's up in the air.
Well, you've been gone ever since Sebastian went missing, so I understand. When you are home, do you two sleep in the same bedroom?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this a 3-bedroom home?
Yes, ma'am.
Where is your room as it relates to Sebastian's room?
It's on the opposite end of the house. The master bedroom's on one side, and the other 2 bedrooms are on the other side of the house.
Okay, so your master bedroom is on one side of the house and Sebastian's room is on the other side of the house. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, you have a 3rd bedroom that I believe you keep for your other daughter. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that Faith? Is your other daughter named Faith?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So where is Faith's bedroom as it relates to Sebastian's bedroom?
It's in the back side of the house. Sebastian's bedroom
So
on the
it's-
front side of the house.
Okay. So his bedroom is away from Faith's bedroom and away from your master bedroom. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Is Sebastian's room on a top floor or a ground level?
We have a ranch style house. It's a 1.5 story, so everything is flat, and then you have the bonus room above the garage.
Okay. So his is on ground floor, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. That morning, was there any sign of a break-in through a window, a front door, a back door, a sliding glass door, anything at all?
No, ma'am.
Okay. No sign of forced entry. Was anything taken from the home at all?
Not that we could find anything. We couldn't find anything missing.
I want to circle back to Sebastian's shoes regarding if anything was missing. Do you have a burglar alarm?
No, ma'am.
Do you have a Ring doorbell cam?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Have the 2 of you taken a polygraph?
I have.
I have not.
Would you be willing to?
I've offered and volunteered on many occasions to take a polygraph, and I was told directly by law enforcement, because of my whereabouts, I did not need one.
As far as the polygraphs are concerned, I know people talk about these every time. I'm not also a very big fan of them. I think that they're a tool, but I mean, you can legitimately lie your way through one if you know what you're doing, and they're not always reliable, and they can't be used in court. So they are a tool, but they don't really, to me, have a lot of weight. They don't have a lot of weight.
I understand. Miss Proudfoot, did you pass your polygraph?
I did.
Those questions out of the way. Was Faith in the home when Sebastian went missing?
No.
No, ma'am.
Does anyone else have a key to your home beside your immediate family?
No.
No, ma'am.
That night, Miss Proudfoot, at midnight when you went to bed, what did you do until midnight?
I had been reading a chapter that I needed to, and I had been talking to my husband on the phone. I was falling asleep on him, so that's when he told me it was around midnight. He told me to go ahead and put the dogs up and go to bed, and that's what I did. I got up, put the dogs where they sleep, and then I myself went to bed.
I do want to mention the real quick. I meant to mention it before. Got into the whole polygraph thing. It's still strange to me that they didn't have surveillance. Well, cameras outside the home, a ring camera, something like that. Especially considering Katie worked in that field. So I do find that odd that they don't have any outdoor cameras, or at least anything that was active at that particular time. That was strange. That was definitely strange to me. And you guys will also note, now that they've zoomed in on them, this interview was done when they were in the RV. This is when they both left the home in Hendersonville, Tennessee, and went off. Again, I don't think that that was necessarily the best move for Katie. As far as Chris is concerned, well, that's his, place. But as a mom, as Sebastian's mom, I think that was very, very strange, in my opinion.
Where do they sleep?
They have a big pen.
A pen, is it inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside. That reminds me of another question. Do you guys have a motion sensor light or lights on the outside of your house?
Yes, we do have lights on the outside of our house.
Did they activate that night?
They're not motion censored. We have lights.
Were they
but not
on that
motion
night?
censored.
No,
Okay.
ma'am.
Were they on that night? So the lights were out the whole night?
Yes, ma'am. We don't typically turn the floodlights on.
Were there any lights outside the house on at all?
Just my little solar lights that we have in the garden.
You guys catch the looks, the way that Nancy's looking at him? So there's no lights on at all? I mean, that is very, very strange. Why have motion lights, floodlights, especially when Katie is the only one home with her 15-year-old son? Why? Why are you not using them? And why don't you have, your ring cameras or what have you on? Why? Very, very strange to me, and you could tell Nancy thinks it's odd too.
There's
Yep.
2 lights on the side of the house above the garage that are on at all times.
Oh, yeah, those are on.
Oh, there's a light above the garage that's on at all times?
There's 2. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so those lights were on?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The reason I'm asking is because I heard you say earlier, Mr. Proudfoot, that your neighbors have been very, very forthcoming with their Ring camera info. And I was
Yes, ma'am.
trying to determine if any lights were on, what, if anything, they may have caught. But I understand from your previous interviews that nothing of any evidentiary value was caught. And also, in another statement you gave, I understand that the video of the 2 flashlights, and I'm saying that with air quotes, that's not exactly what that was at all. We now don't believe that 2 flashlights were observed around your home. Is that correct?
You're
Yes.
very correct.
Okay. Question regarding your vehicles. Ms. Proudfoot, what make and model do you drive?
I drive a Infinity SUV.
Year?
2017.
And, sir, what do you drive?
I drive a diesel truck, Chevrolet.
Year?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's a 2021, I think.
So your Infiniti SUV was parked in the garage or outside the garage that night, Miss Proudfoot?
In the garage.
In the garage. And Mr. Proudfoot, your vehicle was on location in Memphis. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. So there's only one car at the home. Is that right?
There was actually a work vehicle in the driveway at the time as well, but it hasn't moved. We can't give out that information because we don't have permission from her work.
I don't understand that. What?
About the make and model of the vehicle.
I have a work van that was also parked in the driveway.
Why is that? If it's out in the driveway where people can see it, why is that privileged information?
We just don't have permission from her company to divulge that information.
Have you asked?
No, ma'am, we have not.
I think that they think that these questions about the vehicles are odd. You could tell, especially Katie's really taking it back. Like, why do you need to know about my car? And oh, we're not allowed to divulge that. Nancy Grace, what is this privileged information? They're parked in the driveway, aren't they? Everyone else can see them. I mean, yeah, guys. I mean, unless you have it parked in a garage or covered up or anything like that, people are gonna know that there's a vehicle there. And there's actually photos of that van when you look up their home. So, yeah, people know that she had that work van there.
Nobody's asked us
So
that
that
question.
was-
To be honest with you.
Okay, so you have a work van. Question to you, Miss Proudfoot, what do you do for a living?
I am an installation technician.
That night, was the work van blocking your driveway? Could someone go in and out of your driveway?
The van is parked at the back of my driveway, so someone can pull in, yes.
Got it. Do you park your Infiniti SUV in the garage or outside the garage?
In the garage.
In the garage. Do you have an automatic garage door?
With the clicker.
Right. Do you leave that up or down at night?
Down.
Could anybody lift it up? Like, is there an on and off button outside, or do you have to know a code or have the clicker to open it?
You'd have to know the code or have the clicker.
Does Sebastian know the code?
Not to the garage door, but to the man doors.
Not to the garage door, but to the house doors?
The regular door, yes.
So is there a code to get in your home, or do you use a regular key?
There's a code.
And he knows that code.
Yes, ma'am.
Question, I'm just trying to figure out how he would have gotten out, or if somebody came into the home. Could they have gotten through the garage door? No, unless they know the code or had the clicker, which they did not. Do you lock your doors at night?
Yes, ma'am.
Could he have left on his own through those doors?
He could, yes, ma'am.
But I heard in another interview where Mr. Proudfoot said he was not a, quote, wanderer. He didn't wander around. He had never left the home before on his own. Is that right?
Correct. We haven't had issues with him running or taking off in the past.
Well, that's just not true, because the neighbors have found him outside, like I said before. One of them found them underneath the vehicle of their driveway before. So, yeah, this is not true. Sebastian did leave the home and wander previously. So, again, there was a lot of construed information, or I guess partial truths, or I don't want to say they're lying, but just not giving out the full information. And, yeah, but I do recommend checking out this interview with Nancy Grace. You can tell, especially Katie, is very nervous about speaking to Nancy with the way she's asking questions, and I always think that Nancy just gets right down to, you know, the nitty gritty, and you know, she's no nonsense, you know, that's for sure. So here is the tip line again. I want to make sure that this is out there. Obviously I'm taking it off of Nancy Grace's crime stories video, but it's again, it's 1-800 TBI find, or 615-451-3838. If you have any tips, please call the TBI, because Sebastian's now been missing for 2 years, and he needs to be found. He really truly needs to be found. I don't know what to think 2 years later. It's a sad thing to me that this 15-year-old is just gone. I mean, and we say it all the time, you know, people don't just disappear, but they do. I mean, I still believe that, I guess one of my main theories is, like I said at the beginning, is that he met someone online and he went off with them, or met them in, you know, maybe down the road, down the street. You know, that is definitely one of my theories, and in that case I hope that he's been okay, he's still out there, and just staying away because of everything that he knows from what he's seen since his disappearance from his family. And the other theory I have is, will something happen to him between, you know, his mom and him going to the restaurant that evening, and he just never made it home. But let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments. What is your theory? What do you think happened to Sebastian Rogers? I think that there's a lot of theories out there. I think there's probably a handful that we all sort of kind of swing to or go to, you know, as like we kind of wonder. I really hope it's not foul play. I really do. And I hope that he's just, you know, trying to live his own life somewhere, and you know, and he's safe and well. But I mean, we truly don't know. All right, guys, that's all I've got for this one. I hope you have a great rest of the day, and most of all, stay safe.